All right, fuck it. This like got like that's like the worst cable and shit, right? What the fuck? Okay. Okay, catch this. Now, let me cook. Those are the common side thoughts that people had. What if you're determined to do nothing? What if you're determined to be lazy? Then that's different from just pure laziness, because determination requires you to have a goal or have something that you're striving towards. And if you're determined to do nothing, then you'll do whatever it takes to do nothing, which is nothing. So that's like a fucking dog chasing its tail. Like that's like not a common example. Now follow this. And laziness comes from follow what I'm trying to cook here. So if laziness, when you're lazy, you do nothing, and when you're determined, you do everything. And I'm like squaring them up as opposites. This is why I'm cooking this, right? Laziness comes from the fear of the unknown. It provides a substitute for security, because at least you won't have to deal with what's hard. So like if you're lazy, you're procrastinating, you're not typing that assignment out, you're not, finishing the whole shit. Chat, keep complaining about the Wi-Fi, and I know it's fast. You're the one standing next to McDonald's or knocking on your neighbor's door asking them, can they give you their password? That's not me. That's not me. I don't have to do that. My shit cool, bro. I'm good. Listen. When you using laziness, people think laziness is just about, oh, I'm leaning back. Oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm not motivated. No. Half the time it's that you don't trust yourself to work towards something hard. So at the end of the day, you say, I might as well not even try. Or at least being lazy, you know where the fuck you'll go, which is nowhere. Nothing will happen when you do nothing. Except you'll lose money, you'll get weaker physically, and you'll just keep doing a fucking bunch of nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when you're determined, you do the opposite. You do whatever it takes to go towards the goal that you want. And the reason I'm making this connection between fear of the unknown and laziness is because when you're lazy, you're like paused. So when you procrastinate, you're like pause your work. You delay it. You ignore it. You like start to believe an illusion that, oh, I can do it later. I can do it at the last second. Whatever the fucking happened. You just start being delusional. You start ignoring thinking about the work. You just think about how you feel, and you feel good because you laying down, you relaxing, you doing all that type of shit. That's how laziness feels. It feels good, but when you think about it, it's not really getting you anywhere. Determination sends you head first into whatever comes with your consistency. You accept it. So whereas like your laziness, you try to pause and stay away from what your next step is. Okay, I'm going to start this assignment. I'm going to type it out. And then I got to do research. And then I got to do all this shit. It's not even like a big fear of the unknown. I think when I talk about the fear of the unknown, people look at, oh, I just lazy. I just didn't do that work. I didn't go apply for that job. It's the fact that you know that something's going to come next. It's the fact that you know that you either never tried this shit before. You think you don't feel like doing it. But in reality, you're avoiding something about doing it. And that's how hard you may think it is. That's how good it feels not to do it, etc. But again, keep in mind, I'm contrasting that with determination, because determination wouldn't give a fuck. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Laziness is I'm going to do nothing. Next, chat, are we following so far? Could you use discipline to counter laziness? No, because you could have a lazy ass disciplined schedule. You wake up and you dragging like laziness is not always doing nothing. Laziness can be like dragging your feet. Laziness can be wasting time. It could be moving slow. It could be fucking laziness is like is a way of moving, like, you know what I'm saying? Whereas though determination is just go, go, go. Like you smashing your head at the wall, you grinding, you locked in, you focus. Keep in mind, I said earlier, when you being lazy, you're following an illusion. You're pretending that if you do nothing or don't work, that nothing's going to happen. And you don't even think about it. You're only thinking about feeling good, relaxing, watching the TV show you're probably watching, doing whatever you're doing to ignore or avoid your work, right? But when you're determined, all you can focus on is your work. So even determination and laziness have opposing focuses. Chad, is this making sense so far? That's what It was good. All right, bet. All right, then the next one. Remember, I said it's a substitute for security because at least you won't have to deal with what's hard. You won't have to challenge yourself to see how many assignments you can do in one night. All these classes, all the shit that's coming at you. If you lazy, you just avoid it. You won't have to face the fire. Now, this security is called for in the first place from an insecurity in self. You don't trust who you are, what you can do, and what will happen. And this what will happen part is basically like after you do a bunch of things, these are like a cause and effect. All the events lead to a next event. And you turn in that assignment, then you get the grade for it. Then you work into studying for a test. Then you got to take the test, and then now you have a grade for the class. So this is what will happen from doing what you're doing by being determined, or being focused, or being consistent, or being disciplined. Whatever counteracts laziness. And a lot of times when people are lazy, they can avoid results. They can not worry about it. Again, laziness, it really gives us like an ignorance is bliss kind of feeling. It's like, oh, I'm just not going to think about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to I don't care. And if you don't have to care, you don't have to take responsibility. And if you don't have to take responsibility, you don't got to it provides a little bit of security because you're relaxed. You're just like delusional. Meanwhile, again, determination. I'm determined. I have a security in myself. I don't give a fuck what it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I'm going to do it every day. I'm going to do it all day. I'm going to stay at that shit. I trust me. I don't give a fuck if I fail or win today. I'm going to keep working at it because I'm determined. Determination has like this tunnel vision as focus. So security and determination go hand in hand. No. Security is above determination. Right? Determination is just how you feel about your goal. Laziness is how you feel about your goal. I don't feel like doing it. Determination is I'll do whatever it takes to get it done. So I feel like I can't quit. I can't stop. This is how you feel about your goal. In the security part, I brought in the idea of security and insecurity because, right, security like trust, the trust you have for yourself. So when people say you're insecure, it means you don't trust something. I'm insecure about my face. I don't trust that my face is handsome. I'm insecure about my clothes. I don't think my clothes are fashionable. I'm insecure about my girlfriend. I don't think that I can trust her. Right? But security is the opposite. Trust. When you know you can depend on something. So and when you're determined, you're depending on your work, yourself. You're depending on your consistency. When you're laziness, you're depending on your feelings. I feel good. I'm just watching this TV. Whatever the distraction, however you distract yourself when you're being lazy. Akai Sarai, I appreciate the 8 months.
8 months down, 8 years to go.
It's just like what really came to mind when I was thinking about this is how people, when they're avoiding something, right? They may always go start scrolling on TikTok. Think about it. If a guy was scared, my guy Shayon did a YouTube IRL video, and it was like it wasn't even a public interview. But he was asking guys like, oh, you think you got Riz or something like that? Not even on some like disrespectful shit, but you think you got Riz? And one of the guys was like, yeah, I got Riz, man. I bag everything. And then that's when 2 girls was coming, and my man Shayon was like, all right, let's go at this 2 man right now. And then the guy started folding. And then he started folding, and the nigga went to the weather app. That was a distraction. Now, Not just laziness, but I'm correlating the idea of a distraction with his insecurity. He didn't trust his ability to go talk to those women. So he distracted himself. He avoided it. So he didn't have to face the fire. But if he was determined to get the woman, he would have walked over there with no care about how good he was at it. He's determined. He don't care how he feel. And that's why, going back to that, with laziness, if you have that level where you, shout out to the person that drew this art too, this is fire. When you're at that level, when you're determined, you're not even thinking about how you feel. And laziness is wrapped up in a bunch of feelings. Is this all making sense, chat? And then the person said, like I said, one of the first comments was like, what if you're determined to do nothing? Or what if you're determined to be lazy? Right? 4K qualified, appreciate the 11 months. Now,
you're cooking.
When they asked that, right, I said, he said it would be better if you included practical steps to use. And I'm glad this person said this because I'm not really a practical man. Like I'm very abstract. I'm very up here with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe some people will follow steps better than they will be thinking about the why or the guts to what I'm talking about, right? Excuse me. They loud as shit in the hallway. I'm gonna close that door. All right. So when I thought about it, chat, I would say these are 4 practical steps to being more determined, like leading to killing laziness or killing procrastination. And number 1, I said acknowledge your laziness is a problem. And the reason I said you have to acknowledge that shit is a problem, because why would you fix something that you don't think is broken? And a lot of times when we being lazy or we procrastinating, we don't think it's a big deal. You know, when you procrastinate, what's the first thing you tell yourself when you procrastinate? And I wait, because I know it's probably all the same shit everybody gonna say. You procrastinate, you know something due by like 2 weeks or some shit. Time. Right, I'm gonna do it later. I'll do it later. I think niggas got hit with double the ads because the stream restarted. Is the ads running or no? $20 ads is crazy. No ads. All right, bet. All right, stop trolling, chat. We locked in. Now, like I said, we all said shit like, it don't matter. I'm going to do it later. It's not that big of a deal. So why would you fix something if you don't think it's a problem? So the part about acknowledging that it is a problem is being truthful and honest with yourself. Like, actually, it does make a difference because I'm wasting my time. Now, don't think that deep yet. Just acknowledge it's a problem. Like, it's a problem that I'm bullshitting. It's a problem that I'm procrastinating. Here goes the next step that makes you go deeper into that. And I said, recognize where your laziness will get you. Plan out the worst that will happen. And listen, when I thought about this, I didn't want to just get people motivated from negativity. Like, I don't want to be lazy. I don't want to be broke. Because that's not what this was about. What it was about is for you to think ahead. It was about for you to see where that laziness leads to. So it's like, all right, if you constantly always doing something at the last minute, you constantly always wasting fucking time. Well, where do people go when they get lazy? They be on a downward spiral, and a downward trajectory. Or at the very least, you should be able to look at what's the worst that would happen if you continue to be lazy and say, I will never live up to my potential. Why? Because I'm wasting time. Now, again, this was plan out what would happen. So plan out, I meant be specific. I may fail this class. And if I fail this class, I may get kicked out and lose my scholarship. And if I don't go to school, then this will happen and this will happen. Like, what's the worst that could happen from being lazy? Right? And letting those negative habits build up. Fierce Pierce, I appreciate the 5 months, brother. Now, decide what you want, right? Now, just recognize where the laziness will get you. But number 3, decide what you want. And deciding what you want to me meant plan out your desired future. I want to graduate with this GPA. I want to drive 2 cars. I want to get my first, I want to have a wife with 3 kids. And we want to have 3 properties. I want to be worth it. Like, plan out your desired future and be specific about these goals. And don't just write them down. Like, what they look like. How would they be? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I want a crib. And it'll be, at least be 4 rooms. And when I get 2 cars. And, we going to live in a nice, safer neighborhood. And that desired future. Right? And then the big difference between that desired future and recognizing where your laziness will get you is they should be complete opposites. This would be if everything goes right. And then the laziness would be if everything goes wrong. And the reason you have to separate this shit mentally is because when you tell yourself some bullshit like, oh, it won't make a difference, I'm going to do it later, or if I sleep in for another 2 hours, it's not that big of a deal, it doesn't disturb you enough. It doesn't bother you enough to sit there. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like I said, number 1, Why would you fix a problem you don't even think is a problem? Why would you fix something that's not broken? So now that you done planned it out, you know when next time you sleeping in and you like, I could get another hour and all that. You like, fuck no. I do that 10 days in a row, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row. I just missed out on how many, 3 weeks, 21 days. I just missed out on 21 hours. I'm 21 hours shorter away from my goal than I could have been because I kept sleeping in an extra hour every fucking day. Hold on, but I went from sleeping in an extra hour to waking up 2 hours earlier. So 21 days times 2 hours. Now I have 42 extra hours to work towards whatever goal that I have than I did when I was lazy. Y'all see how y'all can compare the two now? Like, because when you're sleeping, you might be like, what difference does it make? Or if I finish that assignment and I don't waste that time, what difference does it make? You start doing the math on that shit. You start doing the math. The time I wasted not doing this assignment, I could have already been working on the next one. I could have been fucking ahead on the work. I could have been fucking trying a side hustle or some shit. I could have been doing all this other shit, but instead I was on Instagram. I was on TikTok. Damn, I went out here and went to that bullshit ass shit that I didn't even have to go to. Wasted time. Then you start doing the math on that shit. That shit add up for real. Like I said, I wanted to I put that on there, and I'm like, yeah, that'll definitely be a chapter or aspect in the book, especially going deeper into that insecurity and self. Me and Steve had a crazy conversation today about that. All right, chat. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Exactly. But the idea of what something should be is a powerful idea when you think about it. Because when you say something should be something, right, or this is how it should be, that means you're envisioning how you want it to go. Could is fantasy land, but should means that you know what you want it to look like. So when you start living like, all right, this is how it should be, this is how you could stand up to that. You could live up to what you think it should be, or get as close to that as you possibly can. How many pages you gonna have? I don't know. You explaining that helped a lot. No, for real, I think the practical part helped people understand what I meant by that, like being determined. But if you need that fire under your feet of what can happen if you just keep being lazy, you keep procrastinating, you keep bullshitting, you keep chasing bitches and wasting your time, then plan that shit out. See what's gonna happen. Like I told y'all, when the dude asked me how do you start moving when you start touching real money, and I'm like, first of all, let's talk about fumbling the bag. And the reason people fumble the bag, the reason people keep the same bag for their entire lives. And I said, if you're looking for examples of that, look at your parents, look at your family, look at your friends, look at everybody that's older than you and that's been around you. And why has their life been the same since you was fucking 6 years old? And maybe you got some hustling ass parents, or maybe your parents been on shit and they've been changing jobs, they've been getting new careers. So you got great examples, but not all of us like that, man. What's the difference between these thoughts and living in fear? Living in fear means that the fear controls you and changes what you would do. We all to a certain extent can choose or choose not to respect fear or give it power. Again, remember determination. Or if laziness is all about how you feel, it feels relaxing to be lazy. It feels good to just sit back and just do nothing and just Determination takes the feeling out of what the fuck it's focused on. It doesn't care. Determination means I'm determined. I'll get it and do it by any means fucking necessary. I don't give a fuck if I wake up tired. I don't give a fuck if I feel like quitting. I'm determined, so it don't matter how I feel. So you say something like living in fear. A determined person, fear is not even at the conversation. What's the point of being afraid if I'm going to do it anyway? What the fuck is the point of being afraid if I'm a try 10 times harder again? Fear don't serve me any purpose. But if your goal is to be safe and feel good or get the approval of others, then fear is your best friend. Fear can help you out greatly. Fear is good for you. Because fear always telling you when you're doing something wrong. Fear always telling you when you're doing something right. and then you get controlled by it. You run from it. It's like a constant fucking boogeyman, man. How do you find what you are determined for? Well, for the practical steps, I just put simply a desired future. I think we all can. I mean, anybody could have died yesterday. Anybody that's here, you could have died yesterday. So we don't know when we're going to die. Who knows, right? My point I'm about to make is we all have a future if we're still alive right now. Even if our future is 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes. Like, we all have a future. So I don't think any human being doesn't have a desired future. Like, how do I want my life to look? We all have that. And if you can't be determined for the life that you want, I don't know what you can be determined for. And this is why it's important for the self relationship, because you're going to have to disagree with people. You're going to have to think differently. You're going to have to, sacrifice. You're going to have to be able to self-sustain. You're going to have to be able to be your own sustainability when it comes to confidence. Because guess what? J. Cole did an interview, my homie sent me, right? J. Cole did an interview, and he talked about when he was rapping, or when he first started rapping, he didn't tell his family he started rapping. He didn't tell them he wanted to go to New York for school so that he could rap. He didn't tell them nothing. What does this tell you, chat? What does this tell you? The fact that he didn't tell them shit. He was sustaining his own confidence, his own goal, his own dream. He didn't need nobody to support him. He didn't even need anybody to know. They doubted him. He didn't even let them doubt him because they didn't know what was happening. He didn't even care to get their opinion. That's how determined he was. He was so focused on his goal. He didn't even tell them because he didn't even want to hear what they had to say because it wouldn't have made a difference. I'm still going to try to be the rapper. He had complete confidence. Why? Because he got it from himself. He asked himself, do he want to rap? And he said yes. And he said, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm going to go to school up New York? I'm not even going to tell my family. I'm not even going to tell my family I want to do this shit. As long as I know I got it. But it could be from fear of their opinion. Guess what? Guess why it could be not that? Guess why you know it's not that? Because he didn't ask for their opinion. It didn't stop him. So if he on one end was afraid of their opinion, he already let in fear into his actions. He would have hesitated. He would have not took the commitment to go out there and work toward that goal. See, motherfuckers that have fear from their opinion, that have fear of people's opinions, they hide what they do. He wasn't hiding what he was doing. He was still doing it. He just did it on his own time. Privacy and being sneaky is two different things. So I'm trying to be sneaky. I'm like hiding what I'm doing. No, I'm just keeping it to myself. I'm keeping it private. I'm keeping it to myself. Your opinion, if I already know you're not going to support me or you're going to say I'm crazy, it's no point in me asking you. And on the opposite end, he don't need their approval. He's not looking for their approval. All he's looking for is to achieve his goal. Fuck how they feel. Fuck what they think. I'm focused on my goal. What I need your opinion for? Y'all going to tell me some weak shit? You didn't chase your goals your whole life, so why the fuck I'm gonna ask you about my goals? You going to tell me some weak shit? You going to tell me not to chase my dreams? You going to tell me it's not worth it? Go get a job. Why? Because that's what you did with your life. Respectfully, you don't have anything to help me with in that area of my life. And if I already know that, and I don't ask you your opinion on my dream, that don't mean I'm afraid of your opinion. That mean I am. Your opinion is toxic. Get that shit away from me. I don't even want to hear what you had to say about my dream. Get that away from me. I repel that shit. Get it out of my face. I don't even want to hear that shit. It's weak. You don't even believe in yourself. Why would I want to talk to you? What can you say? It's all going to come from some weak, safe, scared place. I'm living determined for my goals. I'm not even trying to think about, is it possible? Is it not possible? You don't think like that when you're determined. It was good, Todd. Just got a live night. Welcome to the live, brother. Shout out to everybody that's been following too. Shout out to all the subs, man. I appreciate y'all. I know we cooking today, but like I said, I'm determined, man. Like shit been on my mind. A lot of thought experiments, a lot of shit like that. And I'm trying to help y'all understand why not giving a fuck is so important in being disciplined and being a person in your family, in the world, that gets shit done. Because if you were to give a fuck, you would be like a dog with 30 leashes, and every owner, everybody got a hand on each leash. You got 30 leashes on as a dog. They pulling you a million different ways. You don't get real freedom until you start being self-sustaining. Your confidence is self-sustaining. Your your inspiration is self-sustaining. Your motivation is self-sustaining. I don't have to watch a video to feel motivated. I'm self-sustaining. I don't have to ask my mom or approach a bad bitch and get her number to be confident. I'm self-sustaining. I don't need you to feel determined or more. I'm self-sustaining. That's the shit that gets you up when it's fucking 6 o'clock in the morning. That's the shit that pick you up when you fail. That's self-sustaining shit. Think about it. As a living being, think about the simplest living thing we think of, like a plant, like a flower. You rip the flower out of the ground and throw it on concrete. That shit gonna die, because it's not being sustained by water, fertilizer like the soil, or the sunlight. It's not rooted. It's not rooted. Once it gets uprooted, it'll die. What are you rooted in? Are you rooted in yourself? Are you rooted in cars, clothes, jewelry, hoes, likes, attention? Or are you rooted in yourself? Whatever you're rooted in will keep you alive. And if you don't change your soil, if you don't change that shit to something that's self-sustaining, you gonna always need that shit. It ain't even mommy permission. It's validation seeking. It's like you gotta be able to self-validate. You gotta be able to self-sustain. All that, bro. Think about that shit, chat. How do you... No way I get this kind of question. Like, after saying everything I just said, Justin is cool 25 asked me, how do you know if someone likes you, even though they compliment you, but they make excuses for not linking up? And this is a great example. Always the Justins. This is a great example of you have no type of intuition. You have no connection to your intuition. You have no connection to common sense. You have no connection to being able to think. If a person is making excuses to link you, what the fuck does that tell you? They don't want to link you. Now, what's more important? If they don't link you or if they like you? You got bigger fish to fry, my boy. And now, low self-esteem decision would be chase them until they like you, or be whatever they need you to be for them to like you, which is what a lot of y'all do. She want me to have money, so I'm gonna get some money. She want me to have muscles, so I'm gonna get some muscles. She want me to be taller. Damn it, I'm not tall. Y'all will be whatever the bitch wants y'all to be except yourself. And then say fuck you if you don't like me. And if the person don't, guess what? That's cool. You don't need it. You good with it, good without it. If she don't like you for how you are, she gotta go. That's the thing, because otherwise you're betraying yourself. And if you ain't got yourself, dog, if you ain't got your greatest gift from the universe, if you ain't got what's gonna be in there when you go in that casket, if you ain't supporting that motherfucker, oh my God, I feel bad, gang. I got me against whatever, bro. Fuck whoever, whatever, whenever, however. I got me. I just one thing. I'm gonna get the motherfucker. I'm gonna get the motherfucker I'm looking at right now. Why? Cause he the only one that know me. I could explain 10 million things to y'all, and I wouldn't even have to say a word for myself to understand. Cause I know me. You know what I'm saying? That's powerful, chat. You gotta respect that. You gotta appreciate that, man. How do you appreciate it? By tossing and turning and flipping through 90 different hoops for somebody else to like you. Fuck them. Who are they? Who are they? J. Cole said you got to be delusional with it. I think that delusional, for him personally, I think that delusionalness helped him block out negative bullshit that maybe his people around him he knew they might have said. So like if I'm being delusional saying I can do it, that'll help me ignore hate. That'll help me ignore criticism. But the bigger step on top of being delusional is constructively looking at the goal, right? And breaking down the goal, understanding what it takes, and then putting in the work. There's nothing delusional about understanding what something takes and then putting in the work. This has nothing to do with how long it will take. It just has to do with understanding the work. That's better. That's better than being, delusional. Delusional amount of confidence. Do you need confidence when you are determined? And confidence is such a willy-nilly word. Like, damn, that dude's confident, man. And people only see confidence after a person does something. Why somebody come